Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about everything financial literacy. And today, we'll be discussing the top credit card companies that have the easiest approval. On this video, I'll be talking about over 100 cards that you can potentially get, and a majority of them have pre-approval tools, so it will not be any impact to your credit score just to find out if you qualify. One of the hardest things when you're trying to rebuild your credit or start credit in the first place is that you need to have these accounts in order to improve your score. But if your score is not high enough, you can't get approved for these accounts. It's kind of an oxymoron, right? Well, we're going to just use a strategy of knowing which companies to apply for that will give us the best odds. That way we don't have to waste too much time trying to fumble and find the ones that actually will work. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first company that we're going to be looking at is Synchrony Bank. Most of you probably know them. I'm sure that, if you've been in credit for a while, you probably have one or two of their products. Now, I'm going to go over the benefits. I'm going to go over the drawbacks. And then we're going to, discuss exactly what cards are being offered. Now, Synchrony Bank, they specialize in co-branded store credit cards. They offer a wide variety of options, and you've probably seen a lot of them. You can earn points on purchases, you get rewards, and it'll also help you rebuild your credit. Now, store cards, which is usually who they co-brand with, they tend to have a lower qualification standard than general purpose cards. So many Synchrony Bank credit cards are appealing to borrowers who are looking to rebuild credit or to start building credit. Now, generally, store card features, they usually have like lower limits. That is one of the drawbacks. High annual percentage rates. There are limitations on where you can use them. For some of them, there are restrictions on how to redeem your rewards, and Synchrony specifically tends to earn poor ratings when it comes to card holders. But in 2022, JD Power Customer Satisfaction Survey included around a dozen of the largest credit card issuers, and Synchrony was ranked next to last. So just be aware that you may not be getting the best type of customer service with this particular company. However, Synchrony Bank has the largest or one of the largest portfolios of credit cards based on relationships with many retailers. And some of the cards, they are better and sometimes more useful than traditional bank cards. So they do tend to still be very, very popular. So you just have to take the bad with the good. And not only that, but a majority of the cards on this list that you'll be able to actually get are going to be from Synchrony. So it's sort of hard to escape it when they're this large. Now, here's the good thing, though. So with all that being said, I'm going to show you a list of 113 cards that you can get with Synchrony Bank. Now, the ones I put on the screen right here, like the At-Home MasterCard, Belk Rewards MasterCard, Chevron and Texaco Visa, PayPal Extra, eBay, Sam's Club, TJ Maxx, and Verizon Visa. These are some of the ones that are the most notable to me and the ones that I think can actually provide probably the most value for people in their everyday lives. But I'm going to put a link in the description. Now, I just want to bear in mind, this link is, again, over 113 cards. I could not find a way to put all of these links because I wanted to put most of them. Some of them are broken. Some of them Synchrony are no longer partnered with. Please keep that in mind. The ones you see here on the screen right now that I put here, these definitely all worked. I checked them. But again, it's going to be a list of 113. Not all of them will still work. I also want you to keep in mind, a majority of these cards will tell you right there on the screen, you can apply with no impact to your credit score. You can get pre-approved. If you get pre-approved, awesome. I suggest taking that option and doing that. And that way, you know if you got the card or you did not get it. So all of them don't offer that. A majority of them do. So just, I'll repeat that one more time. I'm going to put a link in the description. It's going to have a list of over 113 cards with Synchrony. Not all of the links still work. Some of them are broken or they're no longer co-branded with Synchrony Bank, but a majority of them do. The ones on the screen currently work. Not all of them have the pre-approval option. but a majority of them do. You want to look for that option when you apply, okay? And then just to give you a rough idea of how many cards that Synchrony has, you can see here the Verizon Visa, the Synchrony Home credit card, the Real Rewards credit card, Sam's Club credit card, Music and Sound credit card. And not all of these are just store cards. You'll look at some of these and you'll notice that they do have the MasterCard affinity. So you know that they work everywhere that MasterCard is accepted. A lot of them are also Visa affinity cards. So there's the PayPal card, my Walgreens credit card. The PayPal credit card is a MasterCard. Synchrony, Premier, Lowe's. So again, it's going to be a lot of cards that you can choose from. This is only a handful, just what I'm showing you on the site. The link is in the description. Check out that list. It is over 113 cards. I would say at the very least, just from that list alone, you will get 80 of the links that actually do work. Find the ones that you can pre-qualify for and apply for those. And as you can see if you can pre-qualify here. These two don't have pre-qualify. This one does. The Sam's Club one. This one does. This one does. Mattress Firm. This one does. This one does. So you have to go through the JCPenney one. You can pre-qualify. And I'll try to look for the ones that really just have. The Venmo one, I actually am sure that you can pre-qualify with this one. But I would double check. The PayPal one as well. Pretty sure that one you can pre-qualify for because I've checked it recently. Walgreens, pre-qualify. Rooms to go, pre-qualify. So again, you definitely want to make sure that you see that, use that tool to your advantage. Now, the next company on our list is going to be Capital One. Now, most of us will probably have Capital One as one of our first time credit cards. You can also get pre-approved options with them, and they will even accept individuals that have bankruptcies. So derogatory marks, Capital One will still most likely approve you when other banks won't. So you can still have a lot of negative information on your credit card application. You could still get Capital One. I think in the past, I probably have had 3 or 4 Capital One cards. And they are the 4th largest credit card lender overall. So you do need to be aware that they are very, very big. And I've said this in a prior video about Capital One, that they are America's largest subprime credit card lender. So they lend to more people with subprime credit than anyone else in this entire country. They do have a higher percentage of total lending, and compared to people like JP Morgan, Chase, or Citi, this is going to be one of the best options. Now, in the other video that I talked about, it was about increasing your credit limit with Capital One. I also went into their bucketing system. So that is one of the drawbacks. So later down the line, you will need to apply for one of Capital One's excellent credit card tier credit cards if you want to get a higher limit in the future. That is the drawback. However, this is one where almost absolutely positively you're almost like guaranteed to get an approval, especially with the secured option. I mean, it's almost like a for sure thing. So we'll take a look at a couple of products just for an example. On the Capital One site, they have the apply with confidence. So you can see if you're pre-approved, and the pre-approval will pretty much let you know that as long as there isn't anything drastic from their soft pull that maybe changed on your credit score, you will be approved. And you can see all the different options. Now, since we're looking at the easiest cards, we're probably going to be looking at the options where we're either building credit or we're rebuilding our credit. So these are 4 options that a lot of you probably are familiar with. And if you're not, these are the ones that you will most likely be going for. The Platinum Secured, Quicksilver Secured, Quicksilver One Rewards, and the Platinum MasterCard. Again, with these fair credit ones and the rebuilding cards, you will have to deal with the Capital One bucketing system. But just for the sake of rebuilding, for the sake of, maybe starting with credit, these are really easy approvals, and you have 4 decent options. And there are some other options that you may have if, like, let's say you're a student. So other options, if you're new to credit and you're a student, you can look at the Saver One for students or the Quicksilver Rewards for students. And these are actually 2 pretty good cards that you can get for starter cards. So if you're not in the rebuilding stage, but you're just starting off, these are 2 pretty good cards that you can get with Capital One. And I would say they're in the Capital One Fair tier. So at the very least, you'll get some decent limits out of it. And once you're ready, you can then try to go to one of their excellent tier cards to get those really, really high limits. Next on our list is going to be Discover. So in February of 2024, Capital One did announce that it would acquire Discover Financial Services in an all-stock transaction valued at $35.3 billion. And Discover, they offer consumer-friendly credit cards with valuable benefits and generous rewards. Now, most of us, if we have had Capital One, we probably looked at a Discover It card at a point in time. Discover is very, very friendly when it comes to the rebuilding stage. They also let you pre-qualify, so that way you know if you're approved, and they are really good about letting you know why you may not have been approved with the letter. So I do like that they do provide that information. The only drawback that I can really think of is that it's limited card options. It's really not too many cards that you can choose from when it comes to Discover. But here's one thing that I actually do find to be very, very great with Discover. When you apply and you provide them with a deposit for their Discover It card, the secured option, they give you the range that it can be. It can be from $200 up to $2,500. 2, if you use the card responsibly and you pay the minimum amount due on time, that's pretty much it. Then you build some history with them. After 7 months, they'll begin to automatically review your account to see if they can graduate you, which would give you your deposit back, and then they would increase your limit. So that is one of the biggest advantages that I wanted to note with the Discover It and the secured card option. They have a clear-cut path of what to expect and the amount of time that it'll take for you to get the deposit back, get limit increases, with also offering pre-approval, so it will not impact your credit score unless you actually do accept the offer with them. And you can also have a score in the mid to low 600 range and still be approved for a lot of their credit cards. If we're looking at the Discover page, as you can see, there's the Discover It cashback credit card. Lots of good features here. I do like that they have a pretty good standard cashback feature that I think has become pretty standard for most cards. But while you're rebuilding or starting to build credit, it is nice to have those cashback percentages that you can earn, or to have anything at all, honestly. There's the Discover It student cashback card. So just like Capital One, there's an option for students. So if you're just starting off, these are some pretty good cards to actually have. Then there's the secured card. That's the one that we just talked about with the clear-cut path to how you can start with this and graduate it. Then there's also the Discover It Chrome card, and there's the Miles card for if you're traveling. So there are a lot of pretty decent options that you could choose from. It's not the huge variety that you get with Synchrony, but I will say that I like the apply with confidence. I like that you can get pre-approved with no harm to your credit score, and it's something separate from Capital One where they don't really have you subjected to that bucketing system. So this is a good option to check out. I definitely recommend it. Now, the last company on our list is going to be American Express, and this may surprise a lot of you, but American Express cards are not just reserved for those people with perfect credit. You can apply for an AMEX with a score in the mid 600 range, and you can use their apply with confidence pre-approval feature, which would guarantee your approval. And I've personally seen people who have repos and charge-offs that were pretty old, like it was a derogatory mark that was maybe 3 years old, and they would get approved with a 660 credit score, 650 range for some of the really good AMEX cards. And one of those great starter cards to me, in my opinion, would be the AMEX Everyday credit card. That's probably where, if I was rebuilding and I was in that rebuilding stage, but maybe my score was in like the mid 650 range, I probably would look at something like the AMEX every day. And then you can potentially just do product upgrades from there in order to get better and better cards. And they're actually accepting a lot of people who have a mid-range score between, I would say, like 650, 680 range is fine, and even with derogatory marks. So, don't let yourself feel like you're excluded from that as well. It's really not just exclusive or premier to, just a select few people. It's actually very open to everyone. So, thank you guys for watching this video. This has been over, if we counted, over 100 potential cards that you can get. Again, a majority of those cards are from Synchrony. Despite all the drawbacks that we have with each and every one of these companies, these are all some of the easiest approvals that you can possibly get. I highly recommend, again, I think all of these companies, for the most part, there are lots of pre-approval, no impact to your credit score tools. You definitely want to use those. You can take all of the options that were on this list and you can go through one by one using all of your scores, and you can see exactly which one you will get approved for. Now, for hard pulls, I tried to get one locked down. A lot of these are regional. Synchrony I saw is normally TransUnion, but I did see some people say Equifax. AMEX is notable for being Experian, but then I have seen sometimes where people will say that it pulls from TransUnion. And so it wasn't really, it's kind of hard to actually say, but you can definitely, again, that's why the pre-approval is so good. It's going to let you know where it pulls from. And if you are denied, you'll kind of know which score that maybe you can work on in order to come back maybe in like a month or so to see if you're qualified. Capital One does pull from all three. If you do accept that, so you do want to keep that in mind, it will be a hard pull from all three bureaus. Bear that in mind. Other than that, let me know in the comments if you have any of these cards. If you do the pre-approval and you are qualified or you are approved, please let us know in the comments which card that you were approved for. Maybe someone else in the situation that you're in will try for that same card and also get approved. So that way we kind of have a better idea of which ones that we should be going for. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.